A guy driving a Kia pulls up at a stoplight next to a Rolls-Royce. The driver of the Kia rolls down his window and shouts to the driver of the Rolls, "Hey, buddy, that's a nice car. You got Wi-Fi in your Rolls? I've got Wi-Fi in my Kia." The driver of the Rolls looks over and says simply, "Yes, I have Wi-Fi." The driver of the Kia says, "Cool. Hey, you got a fridge in there too? I've got a fridge in the back seat of my Kia." The driver of the Rolls, looking annoyed, says, "Yes, I have a refrigerator." The driver of the Kia says, "That's great, man. Hey, you got a TV in there too? You know, I got a TV in the back seat of my Kia." The driver of the Rolls, looking very annoyed by now, says, "Yes, I have a television. A Rolls-Royce is the finest luxury car in the world." The driver of the Kia says, "That's a very cool car. Hey, you got a bed in there too?" "I got a bed in the back of my Kia." Upset that he did not have a bed, the driver of the Rolls-Royce sped away. He went straight to the dealer, where he promptly ordered that a bed be installed in the back of the Rolls. The next morning, the driver of the Rolls picked up his car. The bed looked superb, complete with silk sheets and brass trim. It was clearly a bed fit for a Rolls-Royce. So, the driver of the Rolls drove around all day looking for the Kia. Finally, late that night, he finds the Kia parked at a local park. The driver of the Rolls gets out of his car and knocks on the Kia's window. At first, there is no answer. Then the owner sticks his head out. "I now have a bed in the back of my Rolls-Royce," the driver of the Rolls said, arrogantly. The driver of the Kia says, "You got me off the toilet to tell me that." A redneck from Kentucky, after a long courtship, finally gets married to his sweetheart. On their wedding night, as they retire to their bedroom, he finds his bride dressed in the most alluring and delicate piece of lingerie he has ever laid eyes on. With a sultry look in her eyes and a soft voice, she says to him, "I want you to know that you'll be my first and only man." The redneck's face, instead of showing affection or desire, turns beet red with anger, a furious expression replacing his earlier joy. He quickly puts his clothes back on, grabs his wife by the arm, and without uttering a single word, he leads her out of the room, throws her into his truck, and drives her straight back to her parents' home. He drops her off at the doorstep, leaving her bewildered and confused. A few minutes later, her father, equally confused and deeply concerned about his daughter's sudden return and the redneck's strange behavior, calls the redneck to ask what in the world was the matter. The redneck replies with a huff of indignation, his voice still tight with anger. "Well, if she ain't good enough for her own family, she sure as heck ain't good enough for mine."